So a lot of you were asking, how do you do this? So I'm gonna give you a short, brief tutorial on how to do this. Oh, look at that front one! Oh, that was awesome! Are you guys ready? It is time for the hydraulic press to totally crush this can. Here we go. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, this is ScrapMan, bringing you another episode of Scrap Mechanic. We are back in the piston playground, and I'm bringing you some more episodes of Scrap Mechanic this week because the piston update is really huge, and you guys responded really well to the update video I did. So I figured I'd do a little bit more with the pistons, and I have a bunch of new experiments to show you. We got like things over here. I've made a hydraulic press. We're gonna be doing some tests with this. We've got that thing. I'm going to be taking another look at the wavetable. That was probably one of the most popular requests, was asking about how I did the wavetable, so I got some good news about that. I've got an additional experimental thing over here. We got this thing, which has it's a piston thing. Some of you might recognize it if you're a subscriber to the channel. And then we've got some car piston stuff to test over there as well. So this is going to be a fun-filled, very lots of variety in this episode. So first, let's go with the wavetable, since that was what we had in the last episode, was this really awesome looking wavetable. As you can see, I've painted it. So a lot of you were asking, how do you do this? So I'm going to give you a short, brief tutorial on how to do this. Feel free to slow it down or play it back a couple times. So I'm just going to run through it really quick. So here's the hookups. We got an AND gate, an XOR gate, and a timer. So the AND gate goes into the XOR gate, which goes into the timer, which goes back into the AND gate, and then a switch is hooked up to both of the gates. And when that switch is turned on, that activates this, and it'll switch back and forth. So then this is your rhythm. You can set this timer for how long you want the pistons to go up and down. So it's basically going to be setting the frequency, I guess. So if I set it to half the time, it'll go like this. Actually, that's not half the time, is it? What just happened there? Oh, I set it to 0 seconds. I meant to set it to 1 second. Sorry, this is half the time. So as you can see, now it has double the frequency of what it did before, versus the twitching that I just put it on. So I could have really long waves, which actually wouldn't, yeah. So you have to change your pistons depending on the time. So 2 seconds for a 5 piston length, I find, is really good. But if you made bigger piston lengths, you could have a longer frequency, or wavelength, I guess. So then how to actually get the wave part is, the timer is really the core part of this, and then the rest of it is just copy and paste. All you need is a timer and an AND gate and a piston, and that is pretty much what gets copied and pasted. And here's the hookup. The timer goes into the AND gate into the piston, and then copy and paste that. And then you just make sure that you have to link each AND gate to the next timer, AND gate to timer, AND gate to timer, all the way down the line. And then to start it, you hook up this XOR gate to your first timer, and then that is it. That is how you start the wave. And then when you turn it off, you can see that none of these will be going anymore, and the wave finishes itself, which looks really cool in and of itself, just watching it all flatten out. What I'm also gonna do as a bonus to you guys is I'm actually gonna upload this to the workshop. I'm hoping that'll work. I don't know if, because the pistons are in like a test beta thing, I don't know how that works with the workshop, but I'm gonna try to upload it to the workshop. If it works successfully, I'm gonna leave a link down in the description. All right, on to the next experiment. So I'm gonna be building up here with the experiments. We're gonna get to the hydraulic press and then these things over here, but here is something that I think is kind of cool. I know that there are probably better ways to do this, but as somebody who has virtually no knowledge of cars or like locomotion mechanics, this is what I was able to come up with on my own. How to use pistons to create a wheel motion going. So it's kind of weird. We're kind of coming like full circle, no pun intended, that we get pistons for linear motion, and then one of the first things that people want to see is how to translate it into rotational motion when all we had was rotational motion before. So make up your minds, guys. Okay, so what I've managed to make here is actually, with buttons, I can make this go forward and backward at my whim, which is to me was kind of like an interesting puzzle to figure out. And the way that it works is by using sensors. So you'll see if I press the forward button, it tries to go backwards at first, and it actually uses that. It has to go with gravity first in order to go against gravity because it needs to bounce a little bit. So it's not very smooth, as you can see. It kind of like skips a little bit and skips ahead, which is unfortunate. But for what I got, I just have one piston attached to a wheel, and then the logic and the sensors do the rest of it. So now I can get it to go backwards as well. So yep. So basically what's happening here is each of these switches activates one of the sensors. So with no switches pressed, these sensors are not going to, the input of the sensor isn't going to be processed. But with the forward one pressed, then the top sensor is processed. So what happens with that is, as soon as this sensor detects this screw right here, it activates the piston, which pushes it forward. Now, the reason why going forward goes backwards at first like that is because this is getting pulled by gravity. So as soon as the piston goes, it goes in the direction of gravity first, because that's where the most force is. But then what happens is it goes out of range of the sensor, and as soon as the sensor turns off, this piston pulls back. So it goes down, then it pulls back, and then the sensor detects it once again as it goes up, and then it makes the piston go forward again, and now it's got the momentum to resist gravity, so it continues along that circle, and it keeps detecting the sensor, and then it pulls back down here when it gets out of the sensor range, then it pushes forward when it's in the sensor range. So that's kind of how that works. I don't know if that made any sense, but I tried to explain it as easy as possible. And then the backwards is even easier because it's starting with gravity. So just in case you're wondering how this works, here's the setup. You can take a look at the gates really quick. Here's the hookup. So freeze frame this if you want to hook it up yourself. Now, the reason why I really liked this was because at first I tried to do it manually. So if I actually unhook this and just hook up the button to it, so now this is completely button controlled. So if I hold the button down, you can see the piston keeps trying to stay straight. But if I let go of it, you can see that the piston comes back. So what I was trying to do here was manually rotate the wheel forward, which, as you can see, it automatically, like, it goes in like almost a random direction each time. And then to try to time it on, off, on, off, on, off, on, off. Oops, see, like, now it's so hard to get it to keep going consistently, like when you're human controlled like this. So that's why I was really happy when I figured out a system here to actually make it controlled automatically, and it's completely reliable too. Here's forward, and it just keeps going forward, and then here's backwards, and it keeps going backwards. Uh-oh, wait, what's going on here? Did I change something? Alright, something changed. I don't know what the problem is, but just ignore that. It was working great before. Just pretend like that last part never happened. Alright, so we got this guy over here who's just, here's my voice. So I don't know why I made this, but this is actually a result of the hot patch that they kind of had, or the hot fix that they had for the pistons that fixed an issue with the controllers. For some reason it made another issue, which, if you remember from my last video, my first video with the pistons rather, I was experimenting with having two pistons welded to each other and seeing what would happen. Now these pistons are set to the same exact settings, 2, max speed. And in my first video, when I pressed this button, they would just go to whatever the lowest setting was and stay there. But now, they freak out for some reason. So, I made this. And I really don't know why I made it, but I thought it would be funny. I don't know what sound effect this guy should make. But he's just a guy that just spazzes out for whatever reason. Okay, another thing I noticed with the new pistons is it seems like the speeds changed just a little bit. Because what I have here is a whole line of pistons that are actually, all of these pistons are on speed. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, yeah. So that piston doesn't count because that piston's actually not hooked up. So all of these pistons here are on speed 1. However, they're all on gradually increasing height. So this is at 1, this is at 2, this is at 3, this is at 4, and so on. And when I showed this in my last video, I think, if I remember correctly, they all went up at the same time, but stopped at different times. But watch what happens now. Do you see that U shape going on? I don't know why that's happening, but it seems like the ones that have a shorter distance to travel actually cover that short distance faster than the ones that have a long distance to travel. So you can see the ones that are going up like 5 blocks get to the 5th block faster than the ones that are going up 15 blocks. I don't know why it's doing that, but that's I think that's something different than last time. Okay, up next we have this thing, which is actually my from one of my stupid vehicle videos. If you haven't seen my stupid vehicle series, I have like 8 videos or something, maybe even more, of stupid vehicle creations, which are just vehicles that can get you from one point to another in weird and sometimes mostly inefficient and silly ways. So this is a stupid vehicle that has been remastered or rebuilt to be much more efficient, especially on frames, and more lag-free, and also more control. This one has a slight ability to turn. And it works a little bit differently. So I'll show you how it works, or I'll show you what it does first, and then I'll show you exactly what I had to do to get it to do this. Let's get to a flat part though. This thing works best on flatter ground. So this is actually mostly sensor controlled, whereas the other one was controlled by controller steps, controller inputs. So all I have to do is I have 2 buttons down there. If I press both buttons, then you'll see the legs start pushing with their pistons, and they'll push me forward. Now on my previous version of this, all of the legs were required to be in sync with each other on both sides, but on this one, if I let go of one side, then only the other one will actually be pushing with its pistons. So you can see it actually starts to turn me, and I can go ahead and do the other side now, so, So the problem with this is I have to be at certain orientations in order for the sensors to detect the ground. And I tried to make it more foolproof by doubling the amount of legs, so I had more coverage, and it just got way too laggy. I had like 10 frames. I can actually show it to you just for fun, because it actually looks really, really cool. But yeah, oh, here it goes. There it goes. So yeah, now we are turning in the other direction, and then I can start going straight, and now we are going straight. So the way I have it is those 2 logic gates in the back, those will, similar to the way I have the piston wheel thing going, the logic gates determine whether or not the sensors are going to be active. So one side activates all these sensors, and the other side activates all these sensors, and you can see this sensor is detecting the ground right now. So when the sensor is detecting the ground, and the button is being pushed on that side, then it'll extend that piston. So if I press this button, you'll see this piston extend. Just like that. So what it does is that pushes me forward, so then this leg right in front of me down here, put your foot in the face, it'll push forward, and then that leg will go onto the ground, and then push forward as well. And I have each of these sections of legs offset by 45 degrees, so it gives me a little bit more ground coverage. Now let me show you how this compares to the original. So here is the original piston walker. Now watch the frames. I am down to 10 frames now. The other thing gave me like 60 frames. This is down to 10 frames, which this is almost an identical thing, except it is all bearing controlled. So what one piston was doing on that creation, 4 bearings are replicating on this creation, and I have no ability to actually turn it, unfortunately. So yeah, that's the main difference with that. And what I tried to do, I was hoping the bearings wouldn't, or I was hoping the pistons wouldn't lag that much, but it lags just as much as this thing. I tried to do it with 4 legs on either side instead of just 2. And as you can see, oh, this is even worse. Oh no, why is it so much worse? Oh, this is terrible. I'm at 4 frames, but anyway, look at how much cooler it looks. I wish this thing didn't lag. So now if I press both buttons, hopefully this actually works. I don't even remember if I tested this completely. Yeah, it's starting to work. Oh, we are tilting though. Oh my god, the frames are so bad. Come on, legs. Do your job. There we go. We just needed to get a little bit of momentum. And now we are in action. You know what might work better? Right now, I'm gonna speed this up about 8 times or so, and it might look a little bit more natural. Here we go. Oh my god, that was terrible. I don't know how long that took for you guys. Probably only like, there was probably like a couple of seconds of footage. That was about like 8 minutes for me to just do that. That was very boring. So leave a like if it looked cool. I really hope that looked cool. That better have been worth it. All right, let's get back. I got some cool car stuff to show you. All right, here we go. So I took my old Mad Scrap car that I made for the terrain update, which was not too long ago, actually. Scrap Mechanic's been coming up with some pretty good updates, and I made some modifications using some auto piston things, which you'll see in just a second. After that, we're gonna be finishing off the episode with hydraulic. Oh no, we're gonna do that thing over there, then we're gonna do the hydraulic press. So this is the old Mad Scrap car, so I'm gonna show you the problems that this thing has that I took care of with some automatic pistons. So if I try to drive, I'm gonna try to drive down here and then up the other side, and really, really slowly, and you'll see what happens. So I drive down here, and here's our first issue. We've bottomed out, and there's not a whole lot. We might be able to get out of it by wiggling, but we'll see if this gets us anywhere. We're getting somewhere. Yes! All right, we did it. And now going up, now we've, you can see we've bottomed out again, but kind of in the front. Come on, there we go. And can we get up here? Yeah, we can get up there. All right, so we did it. It was not pretty though. And I'm not saying it's gonna be pretty with this new thing, but it's gonna be quicker. So now I'm gonna go in this one and let's see the difference. Okay, here we go. So nice and slow. Now remember, we bottomed out here before. You can see this one's a little bit more bouncy. And we're just gonna roll down here. And there we go, and we're just gonna roll up here, and there we go, no problem at all, right? So what's going on here? Basically, I've made this kind of bottoming out proof, and I'm not sure if there's like a better way to I'm gonna try to drive over this rock here, see if we can bottom ourselves out on this thing. Nope. Oh, we can almost flip ourselves over though. What if we go up this? Actually, we're probably gonna flip over before we can, yep, it's too vertical. But you can see that we don't bottom out. We actually, what happens is once it detects the ground that it's going to bottom out, the pistons bump it up a little bit so that it gets more traction here and there. It's not like a smooth just push, it's kind of more of like a little hop because of the way that the sensors work. But let's take a look under the car here so you can see what exactly is going on. So you see I got sensors by the wheels, I got sensors all along the middle, we got some under the lift there as well, and I've also got sensors right underneath these teeth in the front here, or these spikes in the front, which are probably the more useful ones, because that's the biggest issue that this car has been having is those things in the front tend to not go up inclines very well, they hit the incline all the time. But I'm trying to find, is there like I want to find like a really good spot. Whoa, what just happened there? That was weird. The terrain bumpiness has been changed, and I think the grip has also been changed. So this vehicle used to drift a lot better, and now it grips a lot better. So if you turn too sharp, you'll definitely bottom out. Let's go for this log over here. You know, it might be, oh, no, don't do it. All right, there we go. It might be too high for me to even get my front up at all on it. It won't be a bottoming out issue, it'll just be like hitting a wall. Yeah, see, if my sensors can't even get above it, then I have no hope of getting over it. Oh, there we go. Uh-oh. Oh. Hey, it worked! It totally worked. I thought we were gonna bottom out there, but it reached my sensors, luckily. All right, let's find, ooh, how about these rocks over here? Let's see how this thing does on these rocks. This is not supposed to be a rock crawler at all, by the way. So I don't know how this is gonna do. All right, I'm just gonna go full speed. To see if I, oh, that's not full speed. You know what, I'm just gonna go. All right, here it goes, here's the ultimate test. Oh. It's working, like, it's, you can see the, oh no, it's pushing us over. Oh, wait. Are we gonna make it? You can see the pistons going. There they go. Oh, look at that front one. Oh, that was awesome. That front one was awesome, but it totally worked. And we're gonna go off this jump in celebration. Woo! Whoop. All right, well that didn't. It's grabbing on for dear life. That's not working as intended. Well, that was fun. Let's go check out what we got going on over here, and then we'll end it off with the hydraulic press. All right, so this is more of like a small little quick thing. So you remember I was doing these piston experiments with like stairs. We've got the sliding door. I love these stairs though. And then we've got this magical. Whoops! I did it wrong. I did it wrong. I did it wrong. We've got this magical walkway where you can walk over the air here, which is of course just pistons bringing the floor up to you. Oh, that was weird. But what just happened there, when it shot me up in the air, I noticed that if I run, it shoots me up in the air. Whoa, like that. So I thought that what if we use that intentionally? So if I go walk across here, now you can see I've got these arrows, and those arrows indicate that I should run. So if I run, this is what happens. It just pushes me right up to here, which I thought was kind of cool. And it's like an automatic thing too. It just pushes you right up. So, and it's really, really reliable. Like as long as I'm running, every single time I land in the exact same spot. So that's kind of cool that it has that reliability to it. Now there's one weird thing is you notice I have a staircase here that pushes me up to this. This is how it works, by the way, in case you didn't already figure it out. But I have this staircase here for a reason. And that is because for some reason, whoops, I didn't run. I only walked. For some reason, having it come up to you gives you a much bigger bounce than if you were to be on it and then it went up. Because check this out. If I run at it now, obviously it bounces me up just the right amount of height. But if I get rid of these stairs and run at it now, it's not nearly as much height. So yeah, that's kind of like an odd little discrepancy that I thought was interesting. So yeah, if you ever want to use these piston things as a jumper to jump up to different parts of like a maze base or something like that, make sure that you have it meet you rather than just running onto it if you want to get more height out of it. Okay, and here we are, last but not least, we are going to take a look at the hydraulic press, which is one of the most requested things in the comments. And honestly, I'm not sure why. I don't know if you guys know this, but Scrap Mechanic doesn't have destruction physics or crushing physics or deformations or anything like that. So I don't know what you expect with a hydraulic press, but you asked for it, so I made something, and I do have some interesting plans with this. If it doesn't do anything interesting with crushing, what we're going to be doing is testing its strength. And the way we're going to be testing strength is using suspension and seeing how much resistance this press can press through. And then I want to see if adding more pistons actually increases the strength. So first, let's see how it does with crushing things. Let's start with something simple, like I'm gonna say a can, even though it's just a pipe here. But I'm gonna say that we're gonna pretend like this is like a soda can or something. I'm not gonna say what brand this is, but we're just gonna paint it red. All right, you guys ready? It is time for the hydraulic press to totally crush this can. Here we go. Whoa! Okay, I gotta admit, that was surprising. I thought it was just gonna stop. I really thought that the press was just gonna stop on the can and just do nothing. Let's try that again. Was that a fluke? Is that how this works? I don't know if that was a fluke or not. And here we go. Yeah, oh, whoop, there it goes. See, what happened at first is what I thought was gonna happen, but it totally it makes it fly out. And that's actually what kind of happens with hydraulic presses sometimes, is the things that don't really crush very easily will sometimes just either explode or shoot out to the side. Okay, let's try something else. What if we try something a little bit bigger? Actually, I'm really curious. What if we just try, is this even gonna work? Is this too long? Oh, it is just the right amount. All right, we're gonna see what happens when we crush this. It's really long, so it might have some weird effects. Here we go. Oh, yep. I think that's actually somewhat realistic. I think that would happen in real life with something really long and rigid like that. All right, let's try a barrel. We're gonna put this barrel on here and see what happens. This I'm predicting is probably just gonna stop dead. And here we go. Yep. Oh. It looked like it might have it was gonna freak out for a second, but nope. This one seems to resist the hydraulic press pretty well. It doesn't really glitch through or anything. Whoops, let's use our safety here, make sure we have it inactive. How about a wedge piece? Let's see how a wedge piece does. Whoops, that is not what I meant to do. Let's do this. Oh, Actually, like, yeah, let's do it that way. That's weird, because there's a gap underneath it. You can see a little gap there, which is odd. But we're gonna see how that affects things. Oh, okay. All right, about the same. Okay, so I think that's really all we're gonna get out of this as far as the pressing action goes. So now let's test the strength and see how strong is this actually, and how much stronger can we make it. So let's go ahead and put one of these here, and we're just gonna put a metal block on top of it. And we're gonna keep it at 3 for now. I'm assuming it's gonna go through this no problem. Oh yeah, all the way, just like that. Let's bump it up to 10. Let's see how it does with 10. What? It's doing a weird thing. You see it vibrating? Do you see that? What if I go to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? It's starting to vibrate at 6. Interesting, it has this weird vibration effect. All right, let's see if it can do 10. Here we go, power of 10. Oh, it stops it a little bit short. Let me just make sure. Yep, that's weird, okay. Yeah, it stops it right there. So, it can compress it, but it only compresses it to a certain limit, which is interesting. All right, let's try 15, see if it can do anything to 15. Oh, interesting. That's not the behavior I would have expected, but I guess it kind of makes sense. Let's see how much further we can go. I wonder, all right, let's go up to 18. Is it gonna be able to press anything at 18? Oh, it has a little bit. All right, let's just go up to 20, max power, see what it does at max power. All right, that was about the same, Now what I wanna see is we're gonna go ahead and put this on a lift so we can weld some stuff. I'm gonna add a couple more pistons. We're gonna add a piston right there and a piston right there. And then we're going to pretty much just weld these onto the rest of it. Oh, you know what, this is gonna be interesting, and you know why it's gonna be interesting? Is because of this effect. Because technically, that's what's gonna happen here, because these pistons are going to be welded to the same surface. All right, and oh, it's on a lift. Of course it's not gonna do anything. All right, is this at max power? All right, let's see if this is stronger now. Here we go. Oh, I should probably hook up the switch to the pistons. How about that? All right, and here we go. Oh, interesting. It actually does work. So, what is the max power of these now? So there's 14, 15, 16. All right, looks like it can compress up to 15 with 3 of them. So let's go ahead and add some more now. 2 more. So let me just get a refresher on what is 20 like. All right, 20 is, it looks like about halfway. 20 is like about halfway. 3 pistons went about half length. Let's see how far the 5 pistons go. Here we go. Oh wow, it did it. So 5 pistons can compress a full 20. And actually it isn't completely, oh wow, hold on a second. Whoops, all right, so this is 0 or 1. Even 2, there seems to be a little bit of movement on each step. Yeah, so it's not, I think it's technically not fully compressed maybe? Because you can see as I move it down, it goes down just a little bit, but it's less than a block. It's definitely less than a block for sure. So that's interesting. Well, all right, ladies and gentlemen, that is the next Piston Playground episode. I had a lot of fun with this. Let me know which one of these things was your favorite. Was it this crazy guy? Did you like this kind of forward and backwards mechanism? Did you like the piston, the automatic piston adjustments on the car, the hydraulic press, the wavetable wasn't new. We had our piston walker as well, don't forget that. Remember to check out the Stupid Vehicles series if you haven't already. Let me know down in the comments, I really want to hear what you liked and what you don't like, because that helps me get a feeling of what you guys want to see in the future. So remember, I am going to try to upload this to the workshop. If not, I've given you the tutorial on how to build it. I love the way this thing looks. Leave a like if you liked the video. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss future content like this. This has been ScrapMan, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Welcome to the end screen. Well, you'll probably click away before I get to tell you to subscribe for more fun. And if you really like me, but like not in a creepy way, support me on Patreon. Oh yeah, check out this awesome video I made over here. It's probably even better than this one. Or it might be worse, actually. But if you don't click it, I guess you'll never know.